I have always been so interested in ASL. I am currently taking an American Sign Language class at Kalamazoo Valley Community College. I plan to transfer to Western Michigan University in the next year to major in psychology. The transfer program requires 2 foreign language classes. I was so excited to see that ASL was recently offered as a transferable course. I signed up right away. I was really excited. I got my books 2 weeks before the class started. On the first day of class, I arrived a few minutes early. When I got there, everyone was already sitting in silence. And when class began, the professor began her introduction all in ASL. She used no voice. As I watched her sign, I felt so confused. I felt so lost. I imagined that this feeling of lost and confused would be like how deaf people feel around hearing people. As I watched, panicking, I glanced around at some of my classmates, and I realized they were just as lost as I was. The professor began to speak, asking if we had understood anything that she had just signed. We all sighed in relief. The professor broke it down and helped us to understand her introduction. We worked on vocabulary for the rest of class, and when I left class that day, I was pretty confident that I would be able to successfully learn ASL. As the class progressed, I learned so much more, and I started to feel like I was meant to learn ASL for a reason. Recently, a friend was telling me about her daughter, who was deaf. Her daughter was abused, but she wouldn't talk about it or even open up to her counselor because there had to be an interpreter in the room. She felt like there were just too many people watching her. It overwhelmed her and it scared her. I felt so sad for her. I wanted to do something to help. I was already majoring in psychology and going for an ASL certificate. So I decided that my focus would be to work with deaf children, opening a direct line of communication between the child and the therapist. There are only a couple of psychologists in Michigan that know ASL. At the beginning of this movie, you may have felt lost, and my friend's daughter felt lost and overwhelmed. And I even felt lost when I started to learn ASL. Our sense of language empowerment is what we lost. And language empowerment is very important. Language is one of the main ways that we connect to each other as humans. And that connection is what empowers us. Language, whether it be speech, sign language, or written language, is empowering. I want to use my empowerment to make a difference in this world. And that means helping others. Thank you for taking the time to listen and to learn a little bit about a language empowerment.